a good ball. The flag stays down. Feeney! Oh!
They scored again! It's Davis again! It's job done now.
Today we are joined by Warren Feeney. So Warren, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming in. As you can see, you're back here in the home changing room. I bet this brings back a lot of memories.
To be fair, I wasn't, fortunate enough to see the change room like this. It's incredible just walking in, looking around, seeing the players with their own pegs. But it is nice. But I'm a lover of the old. I like the old stadiums best, to be honest, because it's a bit more hostile for the opposition coming.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about, is about that World Cup 2010 qualification period, and obviously that will talk about home games that we had here, so you can share a bit of the stories behind what happened in the dressing room during those games. But first of all, we've talked to some other players about kind of that time, and coming back off Euro 28 qualification, obviously you came close and victories against Spain, but did you come into that kind of 2010 qualification thinking that you could get as close as you did?
You know what, I think we did, because was it Iceland as Latvia in the group before we had, and I think we're in a fantastic position, and we ended up, I think they would get beat or draw with Iceland, and Latvia beat us, where I think we were leading the group at the time, and then we went into the next thinking we've got a chance here, and as I say, it's just the confidence was going. We're winning games, and we thought there's nothing to be scared of, and as I say, but we failed at the last hurdle.
Did you feel at the time that obviously you look back and you were kind of the main striker putting the goals in? Did you feel that way at the time? Did you feel there was a lot of pressure on your shoulders?
No, you know what, I'm one of them. I love playing. I wasn't, a luxury where some of the players in the team had skill, but it was one of them. I knew what I was good at, and I think a lot of players these days complicate their games, but as I say, it's just confidence. I got the nod, Nigel gave me the nod, and I love playing. It's great playing at Windsor Park then, and I loved it. And as I say, it's confidence in strikers. You get goals and you go on. And look, we had some fantastic strikers. You say you had David, and obviously injuries, suspensions, Kai was coming through. But once you get that shirt, you've just got to keep it. And I felt confident getting in the games, and as I say, I managed to get a few goals.
And obviously we're going to have to talk about you scoring in the two home games back to back against Poland, but how much did it mean playing here? Because I noticed as well all 5 of your international goals all came here at Windsor Park.
No, they did. I can remember every single one, to be honest, as well. But no, obviously, as I said earlier, I want to play, but I knew there was some fantastic strikers, and I don't know whether they looked at it was better at home or better away, but you don't see it yourself. It's a post and a pitch, but yeah, got the goals. As I said, it was a big game building up to the Poland game. I remember I was up at Dundee United on loan, and it's probably the fittest I've felt in my life. I was under Craig Levein, and he gave me a couple of positions to play, but he was old school. But that's what I responded to. As I said, there was no recoveries on Mondays. We ran on a Monday, but I just felt great. And getting into the games, I felt, as I say, fit, confident, and going into the Poland game, it was a big game. Because we'd heard they're bringing up a few fans from Dublin coming in and here, and but it was important on the pitch for us. And as I say, it was a great game, 3-2. I think what said it was I could have scored after about 2 minutes. It was a ball over the top, and I remember hitting on my left foot, and it went just wide of the post. So I thought to myself, I think David Healy had a chance as well. The keeper saved, but I think that set the tempo, and we managed to get one. I think it was 10 or 11 minutes I scored. And don't get me wrong, they're good players, because they equalised, but with a good feeling with the atmosphere that we'd win this. And I think it was Johnny Evans popped up with a volley, and obviously back-to-back games are always tough, but going into the Slovenia game, listen, Slovenia's a very good team, and sometimes it's hard because you've put that much into the game on a Saturday, and probably the performance wasn't good. But we got the 1-0, and I still look now, and I just don't know how the balls went in the net, to be honest, because you've Handanovic, I think was a goalkeeper who's 6'7" at Inter Milan, and I just don't know. I keep talking to my son saying never run past the front post because you never score, but for that reason I was past the front post by 2 to 5 yards, but I just thought maybe that's the only way I could get it in the net, was look into that corner. And as I say, it was a fantastic victory for us because it proper put us in a great position. It was a great buzz about the place.
Do you have a favourite out of those 5 goals?
Probably the one against Portugal. I know it was only a friendly, but it was a header. But the best one was after the game, where look, I've swapped with some great players. Hero hugged me when I was a kid, 20. I wasn't. He was at Spain, and I've still got a shirt. Kalini, Balzaghi, but the Portugal one stood out because Carvalho was marking me, and I remember scoring. And you always swap shirts. I walked up, no interest. He said a few things to me, and I was like, so I said a few things back to him. So that'll stay in my mind because every time he comes on the TV, I'll have a laugh and a chuckle about it. You could obviously just say, yes, he wanted to win, but there's a respect thing there, and I'm one of them. I don't care who I played against. But the one against Portugal, as I say, it stands out because I think Stevie Cragen was at Ronaldo crossed in that night, and Stevie put it in his own net. So all my goals were great, but I think the one against Portugal probably stood out.
And that Poland game obviously stands out to the Green and White Army still. The atmosphere in the game that it was. What did it mean to play in that game and to be on the pitch during that?
Oh, it was incredible because you know what? I know there was a bit of trouble, I think, in the town. And then after the game, I remember, I think it was Stephen come in, who's the head of our, it was the security at the time. He says, listen, your families were right beside the Polish fan. They were going mad, the Polish fans. He says, look, you can't come out of this changing room for about an hour after you go, man. He says, because they're running down the Donegal Road. I'm not saying handbags, but obviously, and you could just tell about the atmosphere in the ground. It was an incredible game, as I say, fair play to them. They had great fans, we had great fans, the noise, and it was just so intense from the first minute right until the 94th, whatever. And great game, but as I said, it was a great victory for us. Proper set us on our way.
Does that pump you up hearing those, like for example the Polish fans? Maybe you've heard a wee bit of stuff before the game, and you can hear them in the stadium. Does that pump you up for the game?
Oh, definitely. Look, you've got to be professional, but you got to treat every game as the same. But we knew it was a big because I think they were spouting off. We're going to do this and we're going to do that, and we were like, good. That's on one day it's 11v11. I don't care who you play. It's 11v11, me against you. And that's the mentality we had. And, as I say, we dare talking on the pitch and we done it that day.
Hi, I'm Michael O'Neill and you're listening to the Northern Ireland podcast.
Do you look back on that 2010 World Cup qualification and think of what could have been? Or do you feel like as if you guys obviously gave the best account of yourselves?
No, definitely. Listen, I wouldn't change it for the world because we had some great times off the park as well. And that made us to what we were, But no, look, you want to play at the highest level. You want to qualify, and I say, you look at George Best. People say he's not the best player because he's never played in the World Cup, but that doesn't buy into me. Yes, everyone would love to, but for me, he was the world's greatest. And that's not just because he's from here and I'm from here. But look, you do look back and you think but as I say, I wouldn't swap. We had some great times getting there, and it was to say it was great to see years on that Michael's took the boys to major tournaments and. Hopefully you can repeat that with them.
You were saying there you had great times kind of off the pitch. Is there anything that sticks in your mind from those times?
How long have you got? No, it's just little things, and the one thing we had, we were like a family. We went away, big change room. We were mates. There was no cliques where you get in some change rooms. We were mates. If we looked at it, if one goes out for a beer together, we're all for a beer together, and one always stuck with me. I remember in the Culloden, and I think if you'd have sent it into Soccer Saturday at the time, it would have blew everyone away with the roof because my mate was in Scan. I says, look, I can't do it, but we got these golf clubs. David Curry organised for 6 golf clubs. Well, golf sets to come for the boys to play golf. So we went and played golf in our off time, and this is now the Culloden, which is a beautiful hotel. So me and Gareth McCauley was my roommate. We're at the front of the hotel, just to the right of the main door. So we had a set in a room. So, and you're just sitting there. Sometimes, yes, you got to go and rest, but you're in your hotel board at times. And I'm one of them. I'm hyper. You know what I mean? I can't sit down. So I says, gee, look, what do I do? And he goes, I said, you want to play golf? And he went, it's pitch black. I says, yeah, we'll go down the corridor or something. You chipping down to me? And he goes, no. So what we've done is, in the hotel, and it got bigger and bigger, and there was maybe 12 in the room. It just escalated. But where the window was in the hotel was like a big window, but at the bottom there was like where the pipe is with the water. So if you didn't clear that, you'd hit the pipes, or where the window was half, if you hit it too high, you'd have broke the window. So you had to get it right. So we aimed in this competition. So me and him were chipping golf balls out the window, pitch black. So come then in the morning, we walked out, there was maybe 50 golf balls all across the front lawn, and people were complaining, saying that there's golf balls. So this got their thing, and a couple of boys caught wind of it, started coming in. So then my boys would hit one. I remember Kyle hit one, hit the wall, come back. So you'd look back, and all the boys were hiding under the beds with pillows in front of them. And it was a competition to see who would eventually broke. And I think Kyle in the end hit the pipe, and the pipe bust. But it was just silly things like that to keep us amused. But it kept us with the change room, as I say. You know, we were all, as I say, all together, and just little things. Remember, we'd go away and used to have who could drink the most water in the room, which is bad. Don't advise people not to do it. But we used to sit there and think who could drink the most water. So you were drinking litres and litres of water, and you were bloated. But it just brought the way the boys were. You know, as I say, we were a family.
Does that help you on the pitch? That relationship you have?
Unbelievable. Because I've said this in club football and what I've seen. For me, I don't think players bond enough together. Now, it's about finishing a game, getting their wash bag, and getting in their nice car and going home. You know, they don't. Teams I was at, even we made it. You got to go in and have a beer in the players' lounge after. I see Conte when he was a Chelsea manager. I think it was at West Brom. They were playing the Wednesday and they beat somebody, and he let the players have a beer. Well, it's just, as long as you don't go mad, but I think it's very important that you've got to stay together, because you'll trust your person on the pitch, you know. And I think that's, for me, yes, recovery's not, but you've got to keep it tight with the players, be professional, but keep the players together, because I've got to trust you on the pitch. Listen, I'll have a go, but if I give the ball, I expect you, but we're friends, we're mates. And as I say, it was a fantastic change room we were in, really, really good.
I was going to ask who was the main instigator, but I wonder if that was you.
Well, there was a few, but as I say, I was listening to Ivan Spurley the other day. Spurley was doing a thing, and he said to me, he says Fino just kept the change room going. But listen, we had a lot. You know, we had a lot. As I say, another one, Gareth McCauley was my roommate, and we were away in the Faroe Islands at the time, and this is probably the best one. And me, David was there, Healy, and all the boys. We were playing that night. And where the Faroes was, I'm sure the fans will know, the hotel was on like a hill, but the grass on the roof, so there was sheep on the roof. So Nigel was a manager at the time, and the staff went and walked me and G's in the afternoon going, can't sleep. He was just bad. He was, can't sleep. And I went, can I? He said, what we're doing? I said, well, no, we'll go a walk. So the idea was to try and catch a sheep, bring it in the window and put it in one of the boys' rooms. So it was me and Gareth McCauley is looking to get this sheep. We're looking for it. Nigel and the staff come walking down the hill, and me and Gareth's running after a sheep, trying to catch the sheep. He knows what he used to doing, and I think Nigel still uses it in one of his conferences. He still talks about that day. But yeah, as I say, that Fino and Gareth McCauley were trying to catch a sheep to put in.
What was Nigel like with all this?
Look, he was professional, but as I say, it's hard being an international manager, and I think Michael's done a great job, because sometimes, and speaking to them, just this is on my pro license, what I'm doing, you can, they say it's difficult because you're not a club manager, you're not a club, so you've just got to manage the players right. But look, we knew if we didn't do it in the pitch, he's going to hammer us, so we had to make sure you can have your fun, yes, but you've got to, you know, look, he was alright, he had to go at us, because we didn't. I think we drew that game, should have won. But as I say, there's boundaries, but it's little things like that as I say, he knew that you have to turn a blind eye to things, as I say, because that's just what Northern Ireland's about. It was as much as we love playing, but it just brought the boys together, you know.
Did he blame the sheep then?
We did. The sheep run quicker on us that night.
Turned into a couple of chops after that.
We should have put a Northern Ireland shirt on. He was running so quick.
How did those away trips differ to maybe when you're in the quad, and how did they differ? Did you feel like you maybe get up there a bit more
No, you did. Look, at the end of the day, you were there to play football. But as I say, you know, I quite enjoyed getting away from the wife for 10 days was brilliant. The kids used to get a hotel to sleep in. They're happy you were there looking at me. But no, look, you knew in advance where you were going, and as I say, everything was done. But as I say, it's with the boys together again. You're with them, and then, you know, you've got the games at home where it's probably a little bit more relaxed, where you can go and see your families. You get a bit more time off. Where I was one of them. I'd have stayed away for 2 weeks because I like to be in that place for 2 weeks. You know, and focus on that job. You know what they're doing, yes. But when you went away with games, they had all the games rooms for you in here. But here, probably a bit more chill because some players would be in the hotel and some would have their time off. They go and spend with their families, which was nice. But as I say, me being ruthless, I like to be away.
So were you and Gareth McCauley a bit of a double team, was it?
But just as I say to you, I've known Gareth for years, and he was the mates. But we had some. As I say, Kyle's a one as well. Kyle used to be up to everything. Like even if you were going to, bless him now, Derek, if you were going for dinner, like, you know, if your trousers weren't tied, you were standing with your plate and they were dropping your trousers and you're standing in the hotel going,
yeah, we can vouch that he still does that.
There you go. So just little things like that, you know, but and get a laugh and a giggle. But as I say, it was great changing rooms. You know, you look at the old, you know, Wimbledon change rooms, just so you got them cup final. You've got to have characters, but as I say, you know, you've got that job to do and be professional.
Cool. So we'll move it on now. We have a few questions
Lovely.
from the supporters.
Oh no.
We have a bit of a new. We're debutising the fantastic podcast Wheel of Fortune here.
Yes.
So
This is so it's more randomised questions, so you know we're not in control of this.
So, yeah. So each number is a question from someone from the GAWA. So if you want to
Spin it.
Also, you got your own fate in your own hands here.
yeah, so this is so you can't blame us here.
Here we go. Pick a number. What's
Number
that?
five.
It's just about.
My old playing number as well, you see. Hey,
It's meant to be.
that's a favourite. Me and Zidane used to say Zidane. He was 5 at Real Madrid, wasn't he?
Pretty much the same.
I think, where was the 5? Was it Bournemouth? I think it was Bournemouth.
Number 5. How you end up with number 5?
I don't know.
I'm a stickler for shirt numbers. That would
Oh.
do me mad. Seeing you up front with number 5.
No, number 5. I think it was Bournemouth.
So the goalkeeper at Wolves, that was number 11 or something. Something weird like
But
that.
you know what? That's what I look at football now, and I'm going number 66, and I'm going. Oh. You know what
Was
I mean?
it Zamorano at Inter Milan had 82 and he put a plus in the middle? Something like that. So we had
Probably
number
'cause it's
10.
Because they well do, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Nonsense.
So this is from a guy called Pelter.
Good old Pellet.
What is your proudest moment as a Northern Ireland player?
Proudest moment, probably making my debut, because my grandfather obviously played, and my dad always used to give me abuse, saying that I've got one more cap than you. So whenever I made my debut at Liechtenstein, I says I'll make one and I'll get more, and I did. So probably making my debut for Northern Ireland.
Fantastic. Obviously you have that family connection there, so does it make you a bit more proud having that? Was there a bit more pressure on you even?
No, you know what? There wasn't. To say, my granddad was a fullback, great player, say great career. My dad's famous words were, he said, because I think it was he scored against Israel, and Malcolm Brody put there as an OG, which it would have been his, and I hit the ball, he hit the shot, it hit the guy in the line in the roof of net, so Malcolm Brody put it as an OG, and my dad still doesn't forgive him, right? But my dad replaced that day was George Best, because he was injured, and he was in another 5 squads, and my dad's always claimed the fame, as he says, but he says, I look at you, he says, you replaced no ones. He says, I replaced the world's greatest footballer. He says, I'm a manager in the team. So that's his claim to fame still. But no, there was no pressure. Say my son now, my son's playing at Exeter, and he's born in Wales. But he's got a bit, but I say there's no pressure on him, but he's got to be the 4th, but he's Northern Ireland through and through, to be fair.
That's good. Spin the wheel again then, is it?
Yep.
There you go. Number 5's been gone then, so number 12.
Number 12.
Being not a sub.
Don't talk about those ones. Just the number 5.
Okay, so that one is a voice note here that we have. So I'll go for this one.
Hi Warren, Justin here. Every sports person has their own pre-match ritual. What was yours?
It's interesting.
Chasing sheep.
Yeah, probably. No, I never had breakfast on the day of a game, but I always had the same pre-match, which was cold chicken and beans. And I always had a habit of kissing my boots, kissing my socks, kissing my shorts, and kissing my shirt, and kissing my ring right as the kick-off is about to go. Every game.
So when you stood on the pitch, you're doing that?
After everything's done.
I need to watch back
yeah, we're
footage of
gonna
that. Need to get that.
If you can get it, but yeah, I'd always that.
Were you sneaky about that, or did you like
No,
wander
I
around
just-
and
No, that was quick, but I thought but every game.
time
every
yourself
game,
and see if you can
yeah.
get it quicker every game?
Every game I've done that, to be fair. Yeah.
So if you're having cold chicken and beans, does that mean everyone else has to have that?
No,
it's
it's just
separate.
just
Separate.
put them on.
Everyone
yeah.
got
Whatever
to
they
put their
wanted,
meal
just
order
pasta,
in.
but I like the bit of cold chicken and beans.
Cold chicken
no
and
carbs
beans.
in it.
Would that affect you on the pitch if maybe you didn't get to do all the things that you wanted to do, all the kissing, whatever? And
You can't say, but yeah, probably. That's what
Be
it
in
was.
your head a
Like
little bit?
there was sometimes when I was scoring playing club level. I remember for 5-6 weeks in a bounce, I was scoring, and I would not break what I was eating the night before. To be fair, you laugh because you hear the Spaniards. I used to have a glass of red wine with my dinner on a Friday night, and I had the same food, which was Katie, I think, with made pasta and chicken on the Friday, and I scored for 5 weeks in a bounce. Never changed it.
If there's anything that works.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
it is.
Anything
And you know, I wasn't a believer in, players change their boots I didn't. I wouldn't. I just played in the same boot because some players and I change their boots every 3 games. I'm going, well, you're only breaking them in by then, you know what I mean? But I was, yeah. Spin again.
spin again, yep. Number 8.
That's more nearer to the right number. 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
What was your Northern Ireland number?
With loads, 9, 10, 14, 17.
17.
Got a few.
Number 8.
Alright Warren, it's Baza here. Just a quick one to see if you've any regrets over your time at Linfield, or anything you could do differently if you were to go back and do the job again.
Baza's a regular here now.
Alright, Baza.
In the GAWA Zone.
You know what? I've no regrets because I left Linfield top of the league, I think, and if that's a regret, then there's something wrong. No, you look at it, as I said, I come in from David Jeffrey and everyone was going to me, it's a big job. I don't care. Football's been my life, as I said, and it's no disrespect over here, but it's a part-time environment. I've been in a professional environment all my life. I wanted to bring professionalism. I knew players had to go. Linfield hadn't won the league in 3-4 years, and I needed to bring new players in, unfortunately, and some big players had to go, and I was brave enough to make them decisions. I knew at the time that there were strong teams in the league, and where I think a lot of people thought, Linfield should dominate. Unfortunately, and Linfield fans don't like this, but Linfield's just a name now over here. Look, I'm a Linfield fan, but Linfield's just a name. No one gives them the right to win anything. And you had some good teams there, as I say, Crusaders, Cliftonville, and I knew, I needed to change. The chance come along to go back to England, and it wasn't because my family, look, if Linfield had given me a new deal 10 days before and they knew, I would have signed it. They offered me a new deal on the day I was leaving, which I don't think was right. And I left Linfield top of the league. I think I won 10 out of 11 games at the first. So they've no regrets whatsoever. As I said, I made the decision, and that's it, move on.
How good is it for you to see the likes of Sykes and White and Paul Smith moving over from the Irish League now?
I give Paul his debut at Linfield, and I said it. I give Adam Sally, Dale Patton, TJ Murray, Paul Smith, Rhys Glendenny. If they're old enough, they're good enough, they're old enough for me to play them. Say I give Paul his debut. tried to sign him at Crawley. Gavin White tried to sign at Crawley. There's good players because they're playing men's football. And as I say, I know he's gone, but can you imagine if they can go full time? You'll get more kids across the water. That helps Michael behind me there in his cardboard cutout. It'll help Michael. You know what I mean? And I says that's what's needed. As I say, for me over here, why not? And it's good to see some of the teams trying it. Crusaders trying it. I think Lauren's done it. You know, there's Linfield, the biggest club on the island. Can they not do it?
Hi, I'm Trevor Carson, and you're listening to the Northern Ireland podcast.
Brilliant. Go for
here we go.
another spin.
So we've got 5, 12 and 8 so far. 14.
It's a number of mine. This could be a good one.
Another
It's a
one.
lottery numbers tonight.
Yeah, write these down. Be the next Euro Millions winner from Northern Ireland.
This is a good one. This is from Davy T. Arthur Boric, how good was that game against Poland?
I knew this was coming up. Well, you know what? It was the build up, as I say to you, over there, because I'd scored twice past them. And the Celtic fans, they knew Northern Ireland was a Rangers fan. The abuse I took over there playing against Celtic was so funny. I remember I had to get a police escort in one game. But it was just a big build up, and you know, it had to be, obviously, you know, I scored and building into the game, and then obviously with a pass, and I chased Boric down, and the ball bubbled, and it went in, and you know, but that's what I say. He's a great keeper, great keeper. But it was just the atmosphere. We tried to get on their skin. It worked. It's like, you know, a boxing match. You try and get on the other person's skin, you know, make it horrible for them in that environment, and you know, building up to it within. As I say to you, we won the game. But look, it's football. There's no hard feelings in it. We got the 3 points. That's all I worry about.
Is there a bit of banter or anything on the pitch after that?
Well,
game?
I think there's a picture of when I'm chasing them down. It goes in. I'm standing with my hands and like that there, and you're
Yes,
laughing,
there is.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember looking at David as well. David turned around. David was giggling. You know, it was just a moment going, wow. You know, I think I tried to claim it as well. But it was a great atmosphere. Good. But the thing I say, the most important thing is to get the game. But mistakes happen in football. We've all been on the end of it, and you know, fortunately, it wasn't us.
Right. Another spin.
Look at my kids. They look happy, don't they?
Fascinating
Is it
hearing
that
Dad's
bad?
Is
Is it that bad?
It's great.
Won't give them the other stories.
Is it because they've heard it?
Look at her shaking up. They'll be on the phone to their mum straight after.
Okay, this is another voice one here.
Hi Warren, this is Stephen from Belfast. When you were at Cardiff City, you were briefly loaned out to Swansea. Did you receive any stick from either set of supporters following this move?
Good question, that, to be honest. Yeah, look, I went into Cardiff and I was playing with Northern Ireland at the time in the qualifiers, and I knew I'm not willing to sit and pick up my wage. But they'd signed Jimmy Hasselbank and Robbie Fowler, and I thought to myself, I'm never going to play here. You've 2x. I think Robbie sold 8,000 shirts in 2 days. Robbie Fowler shirts in 2 days.
Not bad.
I know. And so a lot of clubs come in for me, to be fair, and I went to the manager and I says, I want to go on loan. He said, you're not going. I said, look, I need to play. I want to go on loan. I'm not here to just be a... So about a week later, as I said, there's about 5 or 6 clubs come in for me, and I seen Swansea, and I want to go to Swansea. No, you're not going there. I said, why? I said, because they're all rivals. I said, so? I said, I want to play. You're letting me go. I'll choose where I want to go. And I went down there, and then I remember I was warming up in my debut. It was against Swindon. Your team. And I was warming up, and the abuse, the fans. Because you know what? I'd say this day, it's worse than Rangers Celtic. I'm telling you, I've seen Rangers fans walk down the street. You will not walk down with a Cardiff Swansea fan. It is murder. And I remember warming up, and they were giving me all sorts. But I had a bit of connection with Swansea because my granddad was born there and captained them. Or no, my dad was born there, and my granddad captained them. But they were giving me dogs abuse, and I come on. I remember Tom Butler crossed, and I scored the winner, 1-2-1, and had an unbelievable relationship with fans. I loved playing under Roberto Martinez. He was outstanding. Went back to Cardiff, played against Hull. 85% of the stadium booed me. proper booing. But as I say, it's football, and I think whenever you've played in clubs, you just accept it. You know what I mean, and get on with it. But that was very big rivalry between them two. But I didn't care. Football's a winner for me over it all.
So when you said there about you wanted to go to Swansea, but the club said no, and you've obviously now been the manager on the other side. Do players often get that final decision? How does that?
Well, the thing is, you've got to look at one. It's got to be right for the club. Two, if you've got a player on that who is available in to go, it is difficult. You don't want to stand in his way, but as I said, it's whenever things can get involved, and then you can get agents saying he's not going there, and then until I get. So it takes a lot of it in football. But as I said, I just said to Cardiff, look, it's an hour from the house as well. I want to go and play football. That's where I want to go, because Roberto was a great manager. I didn't want to go up to Scotland. It was actually Swindon. Paul Sturrock was a manager. There's a few other ones, I think Sheffield Wednesday. But I said I want to go and play under Roberto Martinez, and I absolutely loved it. So I made sure it happened, or else I can stay there. I'm not going. So you're taking a large chunk of what money you're on there. Maybe he wanted to bring something else in, you know what I mean? So they usually go through in the end.
Do one last final.
Yeah, last spin of
big
the
one.
famous wheel. Big one. He's gone big. Oh, got 5.
Done that, haven't we?
Yep.
Do another one.
If not, we'll just go to the next one.
I think there's a magnet now, is it? Done that.
Oh.
Hey! Could see.
It's not corrupt.
It's definitely not. Number 1.
Hi Warren, it's Tasha. Can you name a 5-a-side team you've played with for both club and country, including yourself?
No.
As in,
I think she's wanting their
as in
the
top 5.
Your top 5
that I've played with, and against it, you say, or just with players I've played with.
Players I've played with. Yeah.
One, I would probably say goalkeeper. I've got to put Mike in there. Out of all the keepers,
Stephen Craigan said the same as well.
He did, yeah. There's a lot of good
Mike.
keepers, in there, yeah, definitely.
Defenders wise, I will put in Rio Ferdinand. Strikers is easy. We'll put in Harry Kewell and Robbie Fowler. Many's that?
1,
4.
2, 4. Midfield maestro now.
And this is probably one no one's heard of. There was a kid at Swansea, and he's probably the most gifted, technical, and everyone always asks me, and I've played with some unbelievable players, a boy called Ferry Boda. Ferry could have, the Swansea signed him, Martinez signed him from Den Haag for £30,000, and no one had heard him. This kid could hit a cigar off a crossbar with both feet for 40 yards. He was unbelievable. And when Martinez left to go to Wigan, he put a 4 million bid straight in for him, and the kid done his cruciate that day in training, a bit like the Van Nistelrooy thing. Then he got fit, he done his other cruciate in Derby, and he's just went. But he is, honest to goodness, this kid, Google him or watch him, he was unreal.
There's one for football anoraks right
so
there.
Good, and I've played with unbelievable players, as I said, but this kid was frightening for me, really good.
Is he still playing now?
No, he was an agent in Holland, but he made the Swansea team what it was, being honest. He just so much confidence in him.
He'd do some damage in a
five-a-side
game,
he
man.
just pinged for fun.
Run rings
didn't out, sat there, both feet, just knew. And honestly, he could have hung a cigar off a crossbar and hit the cigar easy. He was that good.
What about a Northern Ireland 5-a-side team? So if you were putting Northern Ireland 5-a-side against that team, who are you putting in? You can include yourself, obviously, as well.
I would put Big Roy. He's a head case. I like Big Roy. Defender wise, you got to put Johnny Evans in there. Midfield, Stevie Davis. Fantastic energy. Other defender, I've got to put my big mate Gareth McCauley. What's that? 3?
4 with Roy.
Room for the sheep in there still. Yeah.
Striker, yeah.
He can play in the hole. And you got to put Healy. You got to put Sir David, because what David done was phenomenal. I'm telling you. That time he just broke Davor Sugar's record. For a team Northern Ireland, it's just phenomenal.
Is he the best player you played with
In
within
the
Northern Ireland setup?
I like with David because you just had that he was going to score. You know, as I said, you just knew that. Even that game at Denmark, we played it out here. We made him scored. You just knew like that. It was a bad touch by him, but when he spun, just chipped in the net. You just knew you had a chance with him on the pitch. You knew you had a chance. Still breaks my heart, but in my 40-yard volley that hit the post. Because I remember Keith Gillespie to my right of me going, Fino, and he was effing it, and his mates better go in. And the Beeford hit the point, he goes, unlucky son.
So just to finish off really is to just ask you about this year and the current Northern Ireland team. Obviously on the Euro 2020 qualification coming up, what do you think of the chances of the games coming up?
You know what, it's going to be very difficult, but as I said, it's been difficult every campaign, but what Michael's done's been phenomenal. He gets the players playing for him, and I actually think, and I know I'm saying people have lost games, but I actually think they're playing better now than what they were when they qualified. You know that? As I said, look, it's going to be difficult. You're up against some great teams. You know, a lot of people, the Germans, but you look at, is it Holland, the most informed team at the minute in international setup? But as I say, who cares? You know, Michael will leave, you know, no stone unturned. He'll technically go and, as I say, cover everything and, you know, get the players ready, and that's all he can do. It will be a big ask, but as I say, who knows and who cares? Just let them go and enjoy it and see.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time, Warren. Absolutely fascinating.
Brilliant.
Just to say to everyone, once again, obviously, whoever's listening, watching, you can tweet us at Northern Ireland with your thoughts or opinions or guests that you'd like to hear from. Instagram, follow us on our Instagram at Northern Ireland as well. You can do the exact same thing. But to Warren, for everyone for listening, for watching, see you next time.
Armstrong! Northern Ireland has scored through Jerry Armstrong.
It's a good ball. The flag stays down. Feeney! Oh!
They scored again! It's Davis again! It's job done now.